Touch. It's a big way animals understand the world. From a big spider that uses tiny hairs to hunt, to the surprisingly sensitive alligator, and the planet's largest land mammal, with feet that can sense a shudder 3 kilometers away. Sometimes it's best to get touchy-feely. This is an assassin bug. She has brutish strength, lightning speed, and the instinct to kill. But she also has a mother's touch. The success of her species depends on it. Her eyes work just fine, but her world is, more often than not, a dark and shadowy one. So, Ma Assassin Bug can't rely on her eyes alone. Fortunately, she has these antennae. Ubiquitous in the insect world, there they sit, atop the head, twitching and probing with seemingly frantic randomness. Almost like an accessory, making bugs look more bug-like. But they're the most complex sensory organs in nature. By touching something, the assassin bug can determine its position, shape, and texture. Is it a predator, a mate, prey, or her own offspring? Telling the difference between mini-me and a meal is important. Antennae are often referred to as feelers, and they can feel things, but they actually do much more than that. The key to their success is the thousands of tiny hairs that cover them, called sensilla. With them, the assassin bug can do some serious multitasking. She's constantly performing in-depth analysis of her surroundings. With her antennae, she can touch, smell, and taste. She can even sense temperature and humidity. Each of her antennae has 4 sections. The 2 flagellar segments at the end have the most sensory hairs and are her first point of contact. The pedicel is the middle section. It has touch sensors called mechanoreceptors that can sense the direction and velocity of the wind. The scape, at the base, has the most muscle to move the antenna. They are her primary sensory tools. If she runs into an obstacle, the antennae make contact. If the lower part hits the obstacle, she'll climb. If the upper part hits it, she'll burrow. Her antennae can even pick up a prey's scent, so she can hunt it down, day or night. As she motors through another busy day, her antennae are front and center, collecting reams of data, closing in on dinner. The hunt is nearing its end, and dinner is almost on the table. Crickets have antennae too, but the assassin bug is bigger, stronger, and faster. In the blink of an eye, she sinks her dagger-like proboscis into her prey. She injects a potent venom. It destroys cell membranes and paralyzes the victim, then liquefies its insides. No better way to end the day than with a delicious cricket smoothie. The assassin bug depends on the tiny hairs on its antennae. It's an approach other creatures have taken to the extreme. In the stillness of dusk, a young mouse is lost, looking for its home. But just a few centimeters away, a hunt has secretly just begun. This is the Goliath bird eater. It can't see or smell the mouse very well. It doesn't have to. The tarantula makes its move. But he loses interest because just around the corner, he senses a bigger, juicier meal. With deft and deadly silence, he strikes. And now he's got dinner. Despite its name, the Goliath bird eater rarely eats birds. Mostly lizards, frogs, and mice. It can grow to nearly 30 centimeters across. Its fangs are 2.5 centimeters long. It is the largest of the 800 known species of tarantulas. These giants of the jungle are fearsome. But their true advantage on the hunting grounds is not their menacing size. It's actually something they share with the other 799 species of tarantula, great and small. These tiny hairs, thousands upon thousands of them. They're called Trichobothria. To the naked eye, they look like a simple coat, but there's so much more. They are the cornerstone of the tarantula's evolutionary success. These hairs, individually and as a group, sense the world around them with remarkable precision. Each and every hair operates like an individual ear that can hear vibrations in the air and on the ground. When a creature moves near a tarantula, it pushes the air. The Trichobothria feels the displacement. A lot of movement means the source could be a larger predator, and the tarantula will lie low. But if they move just the right amount, that could mean a potential meal or a potential mate. The spiders can even determine location based on which hairs on their body have sensed the disturbance. Some tarantulas can detect air movement down to 10 millionths of a millimeter. That's about the width of an atom. These astonishing Trichobothria also give the tarantula a sense of touch and trigger the tarantula's reflexes. If the hairs on the sternum sense an obstacle, those reflexes kick in. Its leg joints extend, while its muscles contract seamlessly, lifting the tarantula's body over the obstacle. It's completely automatic. It's called body raising, and it's one of the reasons these tarantulas can navigate rough territory so deftly. This astonishing adaptation is 380 million years in the making. Tarantulas can spin silk, but they don't build webs like their spider cousins. They don't need to. The Trichobothria gives them such a sense of the world around them, they're better off moving around to hunt. But not all hairs are made for hunting. Underwater, a marine mammal uses its whiskers to avoid hairy situations. On the west coast of Florida is a maze of blue and green. These are the 10,000 islands. Waterways and mangroves create a dense, murky maze. So then, what in the world is this large, small-brained, slow-moving mammal doing here? For these cows of the sea, this murky and confusing labyrinth is home sweet home. Manatees know these parts like the back of their flipper. They use their amazing sense of touch to navigate. They can experience touch at a distance by detecting changes in current and water temperature, and possibly even sensing tidal forces. Touch also helps them find food. In murky water, they don't rely on their eyes to find their favorite grass patch. A manatee's body is covered in coarse, bristly hairs called vibras, with the highest density on their face. These whiskers allow them to sense their surroundings. When one whisker moves, blood-filled pockets in the surrounding follicles are stimulated. Hundreds of nerve fibers then transmit signals from the follicles to the brain. Depending on how much and in which direction the hairs move, the manatee can paint a picture of its environment and map out a path through the maze. There are 600 whiskers on the circular part of the manatee's face between the mouth and the nose. This oral disc is as dexterous as an elephant's trunk tip and as sensitive as a human fingertip. They can actually use these super-sensitive whiskers as tiny utensils, delicately grasping food and taking it in. These hulking herbivores have to eat 10% of their body weight every day because their food has very low nutritional value. For a 500-kilogram manatee, that's 50 kilograms of seagrass. It's quite a feat, especially for a creature that has the lowest brain-to-body ratio of any mammal. Over time, their bodies adapted to become much larger to accommodate their huge digestive system, while their brains stayed the same size. But while their brains are small, a huge proportion of them, 25%, is dedicated to touch. What's more, the cell clusters dealing with touch reach deep into the region of the brain believed to be involved with sound perception. This opens the fascinating possibility that, for manatees, the senses of touch and hearing may be intertwined. Nearby, a thick-skinned predator has evolved to kill using its sensitive touch. Hidden in dense sawgrass marshes and cypress swamps of the Florida Everglades is a marvel of natural engineering. This is the American alligator. A lethal mix of bone-crushing brute force and prey-detecting abilities. It tips the scale at 500 kilograms and can grow to be as long as a minivan. It is one of the largest crocodilians alive. Despite its size, the alligator is strikingly fast and agile. Its muscular tail propels it forward as it looks for its next meal. Gator jaws, lined with over 70 teeth, can produce close to half a ton of pressure. No living creature can escape the jaws of an alligator. Killing comes easy to an alligator, but finding its prey is a little tougher. Swamp animals have evolved to be inconspicuous and elusive. To find them, gators need to use all of their senses. Their eyes are located at the top of their head, so they can stay submerged while on the lookout. At night, a light-reflecting tissue layer gives it superior night vision. Their hearing is acute in both air and water. But their most finely tuned sensory organ is their skin. Crocodiles, caimans, and alligators have a very sophisticated sense of touch, which helps them ambush prey in low-visibility environments. Lab studies have shown that even in pitch darkness, gators can feel the ripples created by a single drop of water up to 5 meters away. The secret to their amazing sense of touch is a network of thousands of black pressure-sensitive domes on their skin called integumentary sensory organs, or ISOs. These domes dot the gator's body, but the majority of them are located around its snout and head. Because of the high density of ISOs, an alligator's snout is 10 times more sensitive than human fingertips. The gator can feel the waves a prey animal makes as it swims by. He is then able to tell how big the prey is, how far away it is from his snout, and what direction it's swimming. When they hunt, they wait for animals to get close to their snout, sensing the increased vibrations that tell them their prey is coming closer. The alligator waits, completely still. The gator can bite with all its incredible power in 50 milliseconds. That's 10 times faster than the blink of an eye. Brutally strong jaws are useful for more than just killing. Female gators take great care of their babies. When they hatch, the babies will hitch a ride in one of the most powerful weapons in the animal kingdom. Inside of the mouth, ISOs help the new mother grab her babies with just the right amount of pressure and carry them to a nursery pool. A miscalculation could be lethal. She will then protect the babies from predators for several months until they're able to fend for themselves. Their extraordinary hunting ability, based largely on their incredible sense of touch, has made crocodilians some of the most enduring animals on the planet. Being big doesn't mean being insensitive, a fact the biggest land mammal bears out. Elephants. Up to 4 meters tall and over 6 tons. They are the largest land animals on the planet. These African and Asian cousins live in the Elephant Sanctuary in Tennessee, the largest natural habitat refuge of its kind in America. An exceptional vantage point to observe these iconic symbols of size and strength. Elephants have been known to recognize others in their herd after years of separation. They even mourn the deaths of their friends. Due to their size, elephants can eat 150 kilograms of food a day. And because their trunk is supersized, their sense of smell is among the best in the animal kingdom. They have huge olfactory bulbs in their noses and olfactory areas in their brain. But more importantly, African elephants have the largest number of genes dedicated to smelling of any mammal. That's approximately 2,000 genes committed to smell alone. Humans have a mere 400 genes for this process. But what makes them truly fascinating is how they use their sense of touch to be social. From aggressive to playful to nurturing. Mother to calf, mate to mate. They are in constant physical contact with as many body parts as possible. At the center of it all is their trunk. Its dexterity, maneuverability, and strength is unparalleled in the animal kingdom. With it, they can lift up to 300 kilograms, the weight of a young manatee. Or pick up a small object the size of a coin from a flat surface. The trunk's tip is more sensitive than any other part of any other animal. Laden with nerve endings, it can perceive differences in the width of grooves as small as 1/4 millimeter. That's less than the width of a single grain of salt. For an animal the weight of a school bus, this sensitivity is astonishing, and the benefits are tremendous. Elephants don't use their teeth to graze and feed. Their trunk tip is the first point of contact. Its reach, dexterity, flexibility, and sensitivity gives elephants the ability to find and eat food that they would otherwise never have access to. Crucial, because for elephants, the search for food never ends. In the wild, they are constantly on the move. For these great beasts, sure footing is critical for survival. While walking on untested ground, elephants can analyze the terrain ahead with their trunk. If the ground is too soft and not safe to walk on, they know to go no further. An elephant's senses are not restricted to close-range analysis of the world around them. They can also sense things several kilometers away. The trunk tip is filled with Pacinian corpuscles, specialized cells capable of sensing minute vibrations using layers upon layers of connective tissue separated by gel-filled gaps. When placed on the ground, the trunk can feel movements and vibrations from great distances and send those signals to the brain. Other animals have these cells, but none have them as densely packed as the elephant. Mechanoreceptors in the trunk can sense low-frequency vibrations and sounds barely audible to humans, including those made by potential mates or rivals. Surprisingly, this ability is not restricted to their trunk. They can also do it with their feet. Sensory receptors in the front and back of the elephant's feet help them detect low-frequency vibrations spreading through the ground. These vibrations can be used to listen for other elephant herds and even changes in weather, like looming thunderstorms. When elephants detect a meaningful rumble, some will lift one foreleg from the ground, possibly to triangulate the source and face the sound. Attentive elephants have also been seen leaning, putting more weight on their front feet, possibly to increase ground contact and sensitivity. Basically, they're listening carefully through touch. It's an ability that helps elephants survive. When they are in estrus, females send powerful rumbles that can be sensed by bull elephants more than 3 kilometers away. Females are only able to breed for a few days every 2 years. It's a tiny window of opportunity. Without their sensitive feet, they could easily miss it. For the last of the Earth's great giants, size matters, but touch matters more.